Hey Beavis. It's sure been a while since we last uploaded a video.
Yeah, it sure has. And, Butthead, what's the video gonna be about?
I have no clue. Perhaps the elegant viewer can look at the title to see what it's about. It might be about us, it might not be.
Oh, yeah.
And with that skit aside, if you read the title of the video, I'm going to be reviewing the new Beavis and Butthead revival that's been going on these past few months. And this is going to include the movie Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. So let's begin, shall we? So the plot of this movie, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe, it's very simple. The boys, Beavis and Butthead, go on a space trip and eventually get sucked in a black hole, time traveling from the 90s all the way to 2022, or the current year. And hilarity ensues, knowing what the two have been up to in the past. And it's all about a journey for them to get home, which isn't really saying much for a plot. But in my opinion, because the movie is a comedy movie, comedy movies often work better with simple plots like this. And I think the journey part of it is certainly a lot more fun than the destination part of it. And that's what I'm mainly going to be talking about is the journey, which is where all the hilarity really ensues. Basically, I'm going to try my best not to really spoil any jokes, because I think comedies, you also got to be able to actually watch it so you could laugh at the jokes. But, some of the more notable jokes have already been uploaded to YouTube, and some of them have really, really made me laugh. Now, in general, when it comes to the comedy of Beavis and Butthead, it's more of like dumb fun kind of thing, which I'd say is a nice change of pace from all the other adult comedies that are trying to be a little bit too, I guess, metaphorical, if that's even a word. But Beavis and Butthead, it's simple, and it gets across what it wants to say. And I think in the format of the movie, it does that quite well. You get to see just how much unintentional chaos happens in this movie because of how blissfully unaware and how stupid Beavis and Butthead are. To me, that just makes them a lot more endearing while government agents try to chase them down because they thought they were they were aliens. And something else that the movie adds that is actually kind of new for this series is the more like sci-fi elements that they even added to the show itself with the introduction of smart Beavis and Butthead. Pretty much those two are basically the smartest versions of Beavis and Butthead, which is saying something. They speak a lot more like normal people do, although they have their form of the infamous laugh that Beavis and Butthead do, and it creates an element of I don't think mysticism is the word, but it's more of like a kind of a what the fuck kind of feeling, not in the bad sense, but more in like, what is going on? when did all this happen? Because it was something the original series did not do, and the original movie, Beavis and Butthead Do America, didn't do that either. But with this one, because of all the stuff like the black hole and space, it makes sense. It makes sense. Smart Beavis and Butthead actually do make a return. They're not just movie-only characters, so that's nice. But back to the comedy here. I think some of the jokes definitely land better than others. I think most of the jokes land pretty well. I do think they drag out some parts, but other than that, like, the movie goes along pretty nicely. It's just a simple adventure of the boys getting back home, so you don't need to go into crazy detail about everything. But lastly, before I talk about the new revival itself, I do want to talk about what it's setting up for the series going forward. I already mentioned Smart Beavis and Butthead, and I'll talk about them a little later when I talk about the actual show, because there are some episodes where they are featured. But it also sets up that the boys have not changed from when they were still on the air, even back in the 2011 continuation. I think it was 2011. But they're still the same doofuses as ever. They're just in a different time, and they're still learning about how things work. And as stupid as they are, the world around them has also gotten kind of stupid too. So, with that being said, let's actually move on to the series itself. Format hasn't really changed all that much since its original airing. You have the actual story of the episode, or as I like to call it, the adventure that the boys go on, and it cuts out to the reaction segments. Beavis and Butthead were kind of the pioneers of it, in animation at least. This is where some of the funnier stuff comes from, is the segments, because Mike Judge, he voices both Beavis and Butthead. He just gets to say a lot of really funny stuff, I guess, as a reaction. It's totally off topic to what's happening on the screen, when Beavis and Butthead were watching the guy trying to teach people how to sing. They just started singing a song called, I guess, to put it lightly, the Beat Your Meat song, which I have sent to a couple friends of mine. I think it's probably one of the funniest sketches that they've done in terms of reactions. Because before, it was mainly just music videos, and then in the 2011 stuff, they added some MTV stuff too. But with this, they get to, they watch music videos, random TikToks, random videos, stuff like that. And the commentary that Judge is kind of providing, as off topic as it is, it's absolutely hysterical. I guess the time when Beavis was watching BTS, and he knew all the people's names in it. That's a good one. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but that one was really funny. And they're not just sitting on the couch anymore either for these. I know sometimes for some of them they are, but I guess since switching to computer animation, it's a lot less to draw. There's a lot less to draw, and you could actually animate things happening a little bit easier. And I think the jump to computer animation actually has really helped out the show. It also manages to keep that simplistic, rustic art style too. Beavis and Butthead have not changed. I keep on reiterating that. But literally, their designs have not changed from the original 90s cartoon to today. They look a little cleaner in terms of the lines and the animation in general, but they still look the same. They're pretty consistent from their 90s interpretation. But speaking of change in Beavis and Butthead, there's actually a couple adventures that they go on in an alternate universe where they didn't go back home, where they didn't time travel back home, I should say, from the movie. And it's introduced by smart Beavis and Butthead. They somehow have files of what Beavis and Butthead's life would be like if they didn't go through the wormhole. And I think some of those adventures are actually really funny. And those are the ones that can also provide some pretty good commentary about about the state of the country. When Beavis gets a job, I'm not going to tell you what that job is. Watch the episode for yourself. It's quite a funny one. I honestly do think that time travel, them traveling forward in time, but not going back, it's a huge benefit to the show, not only for some of the other reasons I stated earlier, but I also think that, aging up some of the other characters, namely Mr. Van Driesen, their teacher, showing how he's aged a little bit. I think that makes things interesting, and it also makes the show a lot more focused, in terms of, I guess, who's in it. I know in the original Beavis and Butthead, you had the character Daria, who eventually had her own spin-off. Also, you didn't really see, at least in the new version, you didn't see Stuart. They're kind of, I mean, I wouldn't really say best friend, but more of their punching bag, so to speak. He does appear in one of the old Beavis and Butthead episodes, but there's a lot less of like some of the characters that people have kind of known over the years, and it's more focused on Beavis and Butthead going on their adventure. But it's still nice to see characters like Mr. Anderson and Mr. Van Driesen. But in general, I think like making the main cast of characters smaller does a great benefit for it. But anyways, I do want to give my rating. This is both the show and the movie combined, and I want to give it a 9 out of 10. I think like this show was needed in a time where a lot of adult animation is more or less just like it's always like about politics. But Beavis and Butthead, like you could just grab a drink and just laugh. And I think we need more shows like that these days. While I like something like South Park, that's if I want to think. Not every day I want to think. Especially since I'm going to be having a bit more of a demanding job soon. Yeah, sometimes I just want to relax and not have to worry about it for 10, 20 minutes a pop. And with that being said, thanks for watching, everyone.